What does a stress-filled life look like for you? Is that waking up tired even after 8 hours of sleep? Like snoozing your way through the morning often? Or like maybe skipping the gym because you're too foggy to give a damn? Or perhaps you're just standing in the kitchen just with your fingers stuck in a peanut butter jar, wondering if I'm going to eat this whole thing. So just to let you know, you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're probably stuck in a stress loop that has you wrecking your metabolism, your mindset, your motivation. Okay, so we're going to break down how stress sneaks into your system and how it messes everything up. And we're going to take a look at how we can break through that physically, mentally, and emotionally coming up on the Spencer Mark podcast. Hello and welcome again. I wanted to go over this topic for quite a while. Stress has been ruling my life for the longest time, and I wanted to really dig into this to let you know that stress plays a bigger part in wrecking our health than we may realize. We're surrounded by stress at every given moment, and if we don't really address that and learn to work with that, like the form of resistance training, then it will continue to dictate our lives, and we'll be ruled by fear and just continuous scrolling and continually eating poorly and sleeping poorly until we find ourselves in metabolic disease. So we're going to learn on how we're going to reverse that. But quick, just a little bit of history of what I used to look like here. So I'm going to just go ahead and switch this up. And again, talking about how stress is sabotaging health goals, number one. But I want to talk about how we can get through that, how we can break the cycle. So I got 5 methods on how we're going to do that. But again, a little bit of backstory here for me. This is me 10 years ago in Prague with my kids at the time and our dog Chibi. And I found myself extremely stressed out, eating whatever I wanted to eat. Again, I was a practicing vegan at the time, so anything that was vegan was something that I was eating, but I was overeating everything. I had the stress of like driving us all throughout Europe, which is very stressful. I had language barriers to deal with. I had the raising of the kids I had to work with. I was going through my master's program, trying to be a health and wellness coach, and at the same time beating myself up when I look in the mirror. It's like, dude, I don't look like I'm a healthy person. I had a little bit of a smile on my face here too, but the thing is, when your boobs are wider than your shoulders, you really got an issue here. But again, I have sympathy for this guy. I want to thank him for getting me through all my that life, so I can be here and now and talk to you about what's going on. So these are the 5 things that I was doing that held me looking like this. So we really first got to understand what an HPA axis is. And back in this day, my HPA axis was going off the charts. But what the hell is that? It's the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Say that 10 times really fast. But what it does is it controls how your body reacts to stress by releasing cortisol and adrenaline. Those are stress hormones. So simply put, this is like your body's smoke alarm. So when you're stressed, it goes off all the time and it pumps out stress juice. Sounds kind of risque, huh? It's that stress juice of cortisol and adrenaline that always keeps you alert, ready to fight or to flight, ready to fight or flee, but it never turns off. So you never feel calm. Okay, so that's what's causing the stress, is like your alarm is consistently going off. So the number one thing that was happening with me is that when the HPA axis was turned all the time, it messed with my blood sugar. So that's the number one thing that's happening right now. And I had no idea until I started studying blood sugar that stress was plays a huge impact of keeping it raised. So the issues with that, the chronic issues with this, if looking at a peer-reviewed research here too, that talks about how cortisol wrecks circadian rhythm and insulin sensitivity. What happens here is that stress activates the HPA, which is that body's alarm system. It raises the cortisol levels inside of your blood, and that cortisol tells your liver to release sugar into your bloodstream, to get you ready for fight or flight. But over time, this leads to insulin resistance. and your cells stop responding well to insulin. And insulin is that hormone that helps navigate, that takes sugar and knocks on the door of your cells, and then your cells open that door, and then that insulin then guides the sugar into your cells. But insulin resistance basically gets to a point where the insulin knocks so much that your cells tell you no more. Go take it to the liver. Go take it to the visceral fat. And so that's how fat storage increases when we have insulin resistance. Simply put, your stress makes your body dump sugar into your blood, even if you don't need it. And that extra sugar gets stored as fat. And then your body stops listening to the sugar, responding to it. It stops responding to the cleanup crew, which is insulin. Insulin takes that sugar out of the blood, but it has to take it somewhere. So if your cells say no, it starts pouring it away as fat. So we need to talk about a fix for this. And working with me, as I'm going to work on coaching you on how to lower your stress through basic daily routines and food timing that helps your blood sugar stay steady and your body burns fat more naturally. So there's way to stack your nutrients. There's way to work on your rest, more exercise throughout your routines, but exercise that you can actually tolerate and you can handle. It depends on the person. It depends on your type, and we can customize it to fix what you need. Okay. So second thing here too, Neo shows us that stress stops the absolute muscle growth, which is kind of a no-no when we're older and it's harder to put on muscle. That stress impedes muscle growth. So what happens here is that stress hormone cortisol, it's going to break down protein in your muscles to use for emergency energy right away. And one night of poor sleep, this blew my mind, is that poor sleep, often caused by stress, can reduce muscle building by upwards of 18%. God damn, it's a lot. So your body, it shifts into a survival mode, and it stops repairing muscle and stops building muscle. And that's peer-reviewed, folks. So simply put, stress makes your body steal protein from its muscles, which means it makes it very hard to get stronger, let alone put any muscle on. It's like your body is eating muscle instead of building it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we got to work on finding a smart training system for you and recovery habits that include the strength work, smart strength work, and sleep to protect your muscle to help you grow stronger over time. You're going to feel better in your body. You're going to have more energy because of that, and you're going to see the gains inside that mirror, and you know you're moving in the right direction. So the third thing here, I love my graphics here. Stress wrecking your sleep, and you know that. You felt that before. You think, oh, I'm so tired. You go to bed, and then you just light back up like you cannot go to bed. Your body or your brain can't turn off. So what's happening here is that stress activates the HPA axis. Remember, that's your body's stress alarm system. It's going to raise your cortisol levels even at night. Okay, so that blocks the melatonin, which is your sleep hormone that's going to help you fall asleep naturally. So it's going to make it harder to fall asleep. You're going to stay awake later. And that poor sleep is going to make your stress even worse. So simply put, stress is going to keep your brain buzzy even when it's time to sleep. So your body's never going to recharge. It's like you plugging in your cell phone at night and then it stays on like playing videos all night long. So when you unplug your phone, it hasn't got any additional charge. So it's the same thing. Everything's going to feel harder the next day. And you've felt that before, haven't you? Where you wake up, you haven't slept, everything is harder. Everything is harder. So then what do? We rely on more caffeine, more coffee, 5-hour energy, and then we're going to get into this piece here soon in a second, and what other things we get into. But quick fix for this, not a quick fix, but a fix for this. When we work together is I'm going to guide you through a calming nighttime routine that's going to include some breathing techniques. It's going to include maybe perhaps some creativity, but daily habits such as finding customized exercise routines that work for you in the times that you have them, tapping techniques, ways to actually reduce stress. It's going to help your body get real deep rest when it's time to sleep. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on working on fixing that. Number 4, stress. It's going to make junk food hard to resist. How many of you felt that before? This is something that this is absolutely 100% true for me. I can't stay out of the pizza. I couldn't stay out of the donuts. And I always bring up donuts because they're, donuts are delicious. And it's like the perfect anthropomorphication of like gluttony for me. So you're going to take a look at junk food if you're stressed out and go, God damn, I need that. I need the sprinkles on that donut, right? So what's happening here is that the stress and then the poor sleep, it's going to increase your hunger hormone, ghrelin. And it's going to decrease your fullness hormone, where that hormone that says, okay, I'm full, that's the leptin hormone. And this combo, it's going to make your brain really crave high sugar, high fat foods that light up reward systems and make junk food feel even more addictive. So when we're stressed, when we're feeling that stress, that's what makes the holidays so powerfully hard. It seems like, you come through the holidays fatter because you can't really go outside and do much, but really what's surrounding all that, besides the treats and the festive cheer, is that the holidays are stressful for a lot of people. They're stressful for me. So with the caffeine consumption and the fudge and all the treats and the candy and the cinnamon rolls, it's everything that you can go through that entire time for weeks and just overeat on everything. So that's just the holidays. And I really feel that stress played a big role in that. So simply put, when we're talking about stress makes junk food hard to resist, is that stress makes your brain think that cookies and chips are the answer, even when you're not really hungry. And it's like your hunger switch is completely broken. So the fix here is like when we work together, we're going to work on ways to beat the cravings with good high protein meals, which is going to keep the leptin turned up really high and the ghrelin low. So we're going to work on better sleep. And then not to mention these really simple food habits that take the fight out of your kitchen. So again, I mentioned like nutrient stacking here, like always eating your proteins first, your fiber like second or first, somewhere in there. So like it goes like fiber, eating your protein, eating your healthy fats to where it really helps you feel satiated and full. And then if you needed to have that carbohydrate, that's the last thing on your plate. So that's just one hack that we can do and we can work on to help you keep that blood sugar down, but also help your body started to feel full, and your body's got to start using fat as energy a little bit more rather than taking away that precious protein, all those amino acids we're using to create muscle on our body. The fifth reason, the final thing that I'm talking about here, is that stress is going to make you tired before you even start something. So if we're stressed about like say even this content that I'm creating here, if I'm stressed before I even start doing this, it's going to make it harder to be regular with creating content for me. Any project that you're looking at here too, if you're stressed out about the thing, it's going to be very difficult to start. And then it's easier to procrastinate and do other things. That's why doom scrolling is so easy, because it's easy to do. It's not stress filled, but the thing is that the more we keep doing it, the more stress you're going to have after doing it for so long. So if we're stressed, we're not going to be wanting to start anything fun or anything worthwhile, right? So what's happening here in this peer-reviewed paper here talks about the impact of stress on body function. It simply put, chronic stress, all that we feel all the time, it keeps that sympathetic nervous system, which is go, go, go mode, and it helps you, and it burns up mental energy, because you don't really need to think when you're in go, go, go mode, because we're in fight or flee. It's going to flatten your motivation. It's going to make you feel defeated before you even take action. Now, who here feels like they can create and live their best life when they feel defeated? Not me. So simply put, that stress is going to make your brain feel so tired. It's going to make you feel like you've already done hard stuff, even though you haven't really done anything. So you feel like you give up or you avoid it altogether. You move on to the next thing, which of course brings on more pain and more suffering later on, right? When we put things off, we put off living the life that we want because it's too stressful at first. And we don't realize that we're surrounded by stress anyway. and it's really guiding our decisions. And so we're not making decisions based on our values and based on what we want in our life. We're just making decisions to help us feel a little less stressed. So that's what leads to like the overconsumption. That's what leads to procrastinating or scrolling or taking in a bunch of different substances, right? So the fix here is that in our sessions together, we're going to rebuild mental energy first. That's so important. We're going to anchor you to your values so you move towards your purpose. And that's going to feel good inside of your nervous system. You're going to feel more resourced in order to move towards what you want, to live out of your life of your purpose, because it falls in line with your values. So we're going to create very easy daily wins, gradual goals that are going to feel good inside your body. You're going to feel that you're going to have this feeling of success. You're going to have this this winning feeling happening, because we're going to create goals that work for you, very small, gradual goals that are get you quick wins. And all these wins happen, you're going to feel like you're moving, you have forward motion, and you're going to have forward motion towards what it is that you want, because you know it's what you want, because it falls in line with your values. Okay, so I want you to know that stress is a real thing, but it doesn't mean that it's the end of you. We're going to learn to deal with stress. And we're talking about working out in the gym. That's a stress. Exercise is a stress. It's also can be called a resistance. That's why it's called resistance training, right? We're going to learn to work with that resistance and have it work for us. So with coaching with me, this is where we turn the chaos you're feeling inside of your life. We're going to turn that and alchemize that into a system of success. And you're going to feel that each and every day. You can have success each and every day. I mean, it starts off just simply put at the beginning of your day. What is it that I want today? And you run that by me. I have daily Voxer support, which is like a walkie-talkie system to where I check in with you and what you want to have. What do you want to set up for that day? We have a quick back and forth, and then you're guided. You know what you want to move towards. Okay. So what you and I are going to do, we're going to take in the science, of course. We're going to take in the habits that are going to be working for you, and it'll really help form your mindset, and they're going to start building a life that you can actually live in. It's not just some design or some prototype we can just kind of look at on the wall. This is something that you can actually live in and do each and every day. And you're going to feel aligned with that. It's going to be fun. I mean, Christ, this is about having fun and doing this as well, too. To where the fat falls off your body. The food that you eat is nourishing you. You're getting better sleep. You have more energy to do the things you want to do, and you're not letting stress weigh you down to where you feel like you have no movement in your life. And if you have no movement inside of your life, you feel stagnant, and that's when you feel stuck, that you can't have any traction and getting to where you want to go in life. So I'm going to be that person that helps get you unstuck so you can get traction on the tires of that vehicle of your life. And I'm going to hop in shotgun with you once we get moving, and we're going to navigate a course towards what it is that you want, a course that leads you toward that life you want, the course that is guided by your values and what you want to accomplish inside of your life. This is going to save you time. This is going to save you energy. And the energy that you save can build that momentum towards what you want, to that mountaintop of where you want to go, where you want to be, what do you want to overlook, right? I'm kind of on my soapbox here for a moment, but this psychs me up. This is the work that I'm destined to do, that I love doing with guys that are goddamn motivated to live their best life, because this society is having us kept down and having you weighed down by stress all around you all the time, and it's killing your drive, and it's not your fault. All right. This is take your life back by getting some help, getting some guidance. Let's work together on this. And with you and I working together, we will not fail, because I will not let you quit. You're not going to quit. You're going to keep moving towards that life that you want to live. You're not going to be ruled by stress anymore. You're going to live a life of happiness and a life of purpose, and you're going to make your goddamn mark on the world. All right. So book your free call, and we're going to build your stress-free plan together. Okay. So this is a success plan. We're going to build it together. It's absolutely free. Hit the link in the description, and let's get going here. And if we don't align after that call, then no worries. Move on. You're going to find someone that you can work with. But in the meantime, book the free call. Think about what success looks like inside of your own life and what that would feel like to conquer the stress, to use the stress to really move and guide you towards that life that you want to live. Imagine what you want. Give me a call and let's work towards that. Thank you so much for being here. I'm stoked to be able to work with you on this. And I want to thank you for being here again. And I'm just going to go ahead and find the right banner here to end the recording. But I want you to know you deserve your best life, don't you? Of course you do. Thank you so much. I'll see you down the road.